how much money should I spend on advertising and in what media? That is really perennially like the top question. I want to reiterate something here, and I do hope that you'll take a few notes here, that all marketing is really a mixture of two things. It's behavioral psychology and math. The behavioral psychology part is the message. That's one of the 5 M's in all of marketing, message. And that is the part really for which I'm probably an overpaid, glorified direct response copywriter, because mine is about the behavioral psychology part. I'm fascinated in that, what moves people from a neutral or a negative position to a positive. Occasionally you would want to take them the other way, but not too often. And if you will look at that on page 3 in your workbook, the top is the old media budget is not working now. And no, it isn't, because it changes. We've published a media budget every single year since 2001. Well, we may even be the only ones doing it, but regardless, we're willing to put numbers out there. And you will see how in that left-hand column, the media is named, and the money, that is the percentage of the total budget spread across those different message types. So you've got the type of media on the left column, you've got on the vertical, and you've got the message and the money over there on the horizontal. That's what a moderate, there are 3 types of marketers. There's an aggressive who's going to spend 8 to 10, a moderate at 6 to 8, and a conservative at about 3.5 to 6. And that's where you're going to spend those levels, mean your level of aggression or even willingness to risk. If you were looking at with an investment counselor, your willingness to risk is the higher number. Sometimes it's a calculated risk, sometimes it's not. Younger companies really should spend toward the higher amount. Companies going after aggressive market share, let's say you're heating and air contractor, you're moving into plumbing or vice versa, you would really want to spend on the front end, front load the boat with more marketing than less, unless you just are in some mood to wait a whole lot longer, then pick the lower number. But that message distribution and media distribution has changed. You see that's a 2008 to 9 budget. You look just below that, the new budget has shifted. The red and the blue arrows over there show which are up or which are down. Should be no surprise whatsoever that the yellow pages are down. Their lookups continue to go down. Now, they're about to reach some level of acclimation where, and bear with me on this number for just a moment, about 30% of 55-year-olds and still consider yellow pages their primary source. Sure, all we hear about is Google and the various other search engines, and that's what people are doing. Yeah, that's right, but I'm talking about a particular age sector, and potentially even a particular education sector still is looking at yellow pages. So it's not dead. It is certainly on its way out the door. But you see those percentages for 2012 where direct mail is up. Now, that surprises some people. Well, here's where you hear things on these calls that no one else hears. The basic media is, direct mail's dead, the post office has folded up, they've gone the way of the Pony Express. Baloney. Since there's been a huge pull-out, as evidenced by the lack of the post office ability to make a profit, since there's been a big pull-out from direct mail, what does that mean? Well, there's fewer pieces of mail out there. People still go to their mailbox every single day. They still touch their mail. So there is still a lot of response in direct mail, which is as it should be. So that is up for that reason. The response rates are potentially better in direct mail than they've been in the last 5 years. And you can look down that list. I won't completely belabor this list entirely, other than to say, watch how the money is distributed across the media. You'll see Internet's on there at about 14%, and that includes your local listings as well as your pay-per-click campaigns, SEO campaigns, etc. It does not include the hosting of your website. Hosting of your website is like putting fuel in your truck. I'm not including that. That is something that is a standard fare, nor is it for the design of your website. We're talking about the media component only. So let's move on. And by the way, that was for a $1 million contractor. If you look over there, doing about 6%, it adds up to $60,000. So that's a higher amount than some would be willing to spend. But just moderate that. Get with your coach here. Tell them, if you're in a large metropolitan area, you're not going to be doing radio. I mean, that's a bad investment. You are going to be doing community newspapers. You are going to be doing targeted direct mail and even targeted email. You will be using some other lists as when we go forward. you will actually see that. Let's see, another big gainer over there is customer retention. We consider retention a media unto itself. So it is the only one that is a message and a media. So don't get that confused with the other types of marketing, because that's a reinvestment in your customer base. Retention is people who have already spent money with you. You're doing the keeping of that customer. So at the end of today's call, I'm going to give everybody a budget calculator. If you don't already have one from us, it's about a 20-minute exercise for you to fill that thing out, and it will greatly simplify what you're doing.